If people don't take you seriously at work, you're silently losing value, income, and opportunities. If people don't see your value, they won't invest in you professionally. This directly affects your growth, your income, and the opportunities you receive. And the worst part is, most people are doing this every day without realizing it. You over-explain everything. The more you justify your decisions, your ideas, or your actions, the more you signal uncertainty. And in a professional environment, uncertainty reduces your perceived value instantly. People don't just listen to what you say, they evaluate how confident you sound. When you explain too much, you don't look clear, you look unsure. And that directly affects your opportunities, because people trust those who communicate with clarity and control. High-value professionals don't over-explain. They speak with precision, and that's what makes others take them seriously. You say yes to everything. At first, it feels like you're being helpful, reliable, and easy to work with, but in reality, you're lowering your professional value. When you don't protect your time, people assume your time has no real cost, and when something has no cost, it has no value. This directly impacts your growth and your opportunities, because high-level roles are given to people who manage their time with intention. If you're always available, always agreeing, always adjusting to others, you don't look committed, you look replaceable. And in competitive environments, replaceable people don't increase their income or move forward. You stay quiet when it matters. Many people believe that staying silent makes them look smart or professional, but in reality, it lowers your perceived value. In professional environments, visibility creates opportunities. If you don't speak, contribute, or position your ideas, people don't see your potential. And if they don't see it, they won't invest in it. This directly affects your growth, your income, and your long-term opportunities, because the people who move forward are not just skilled, they are visible. If you're not part of the conversation, you're not part of the decision, and that's how capable people get ignored without understanding why. You tolerate small signs of disrespect, not the obvious kind, but the subtle, repeated moments that most people ignore. Being interrupted, being dismissed, being overlooked. Each time you allow it without response, you lower your perceived professional value. You signal that your presence is not strong enough to be respected. And over time, this shapes how people treat you. This directly affects your opportunities, your growth, and your ability to be taken seriously in important situations. Because in any professional environment, respect is not given once, it is reinforced constantly. And if you don't reinforce it, people slowly remove it. You constantly seek approval before making decisions. It may seem responsible, but it signals something else, lack of confidence. When you rely on others to validate your actions, you reduce your perceived professional value. People start to see you as dependent, not decisive. And in high-level environments, decision-making is directly linked to growth and opportunities. Leaders are not the ones who ask for permission all the time. They are the ones who evaluate, decide, and act with clarity. If you hesitate too much, you slow down your progress and limit your income potential, because people trust those who trust themselves first. You don't set clear boundaries. You're always available, always responding, always adjusting to others. It feels productive, but it lowers your professional value. When your time is always accessible, people assume it has low demand, and low demand reduces perceived value instantly. High-value professionals protect their time. They choose where to focus, and that control increases how seriously they are taken. This directly affects your growth, your income, and the quality of opportunities you receive. Because the more control you have over your time, the more people see you as someone worth respecting and investing in. At the end of the day, people don't just evaluate your skills, they evaluate how you show up consistently. Your behavior, your communication, your presence, all of it sends signals about your professional value. and those signals directly influence your opportunities, your growth, and your income over time. Because in competitive environments, perception drives decisions. Who gets promoted? Who gets trusted? Who gets access to better opportunities? It's not just about working harder, it's about being seen as someone worth investing in. And that only happens when your actions consistently communicate clarity, confidence, and control. If your behavior signals uncertainty, low value, or lack of direction, people respond accordingly. But when your presence reflects strength and intention, everything changes. People listen more. They take you seriously. They start to associate you with higher level thinking. And that's when your professional growth accelerates. Not because you changed your skills, but because you changed how your value is perceived. And this is the part most people ignore. They focus only on improving their skills, working harder, and doing more, but they never stop to evaluate how they are being perceived by others. Because no matter how skilled you are, if people don't see your value clearly, they won't treat you as valuable. And when that happens, your effort doesn't translate into results. You stay in the same position, you miss better opportunities, and your income stays below your real potential. This is why some people work for years without real progress, while others move forward faster with the same level of skill. The difference is not effort. The difference is perception. And once you understand that, you stop focusing only on what you do and start focusing on how your value is recognized. So if you want to be taken seriously in your professional life, you need to understand something very simple. Respect is not something you ask for. It's something people decide based on how you show up every single day. Your behavior is always communicating something. Your tone, your reactions, your decisions, they all send signals. And over time, those signals define your value. Which means your results, your income, your growth, your opportunities are not random. They are a reflection of how people perceive you. If you are seen as uncertain, replaceable, or passive, your progress will be limited. But if you are seen as clear, confident, and intentional, people will start treating you differently. They will trust you more. They will listen more carefully. They will include you in bigger decisions. And that's where everything starts to shift. Not because you suddenly became more skilled, but because your perceived value increased. And once that happens, your professional environment changes with you. So instead of focusing only on working harder, focus on how you are being perceived. Remove the behaviors that lower your value. Strengthen the ones that communicate confidence and clarity. Because in the end, people don't respond to effort, they respond to value. And once you understand that, you stop chasing respect and start attracting it naturally. And that's what separates those who stay stuck from those who actually grow, increase their income, and unlock better opportunities.